All right, let's take a look at the Kid, the Knight Rider. If you are a kid that grew up in the 80s, loving the show The Knight Rider, we're gonna take a look at this actual car and see what you get. So on this one particular, it does have some LED lights right in the front. They move left to right when you actually open the door. So there is some interaction here. If you guys noticed that, all right. So we're gonna take a little closer look in depth and see the details on it. So let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at it. All right, let's take a look at the actual car itself. If you guys can notice, rubber tires. It has a couple details on the actual light, red light and then an orange light here in the back. If you guys notice that both doors open, when you open one of the doors, the actual LED light starts going on and stays on for a couple of minutes and then it kind of fizzes out. There is an area where you actually set up the battery. The battery goes in here, and this is pretty much where it kind of separates the battery, and you, if it runs out, you can always replace it. Rubber tires, of course. The details on the bottom are not the greatest, but they still show you a couple things. If you guys notice, there is some missiles. I never even knew there was missiles on this car, but they're not shocked. They're missiles or some sort of drops or something. And then you can see the extra modify of the engine. Both doors open up. Let me open the other one so you guys can see more of the details in there. And if you guys notice, there's pretty much decals and also a painting in the center console. If you guys can see the center console, if you know in the movie that he had to push some buttons that were used to glow red, they're not. There's no color in there. It's just plain old black. That's what it is. You can actually see the actual handle, which is more like a spaceship handle, and then you can see the pedals in there, the gas and the actual brake in there. Pretty good details. The door has a couple of details here too. And if you guys ever owned this type of car in the past, they made it pretty bulky, this part right here, because this is where you actually you had some check engine lights and certain things. I mean, it used to light up. I remember that we owned a car similar to this, and it had light ups and stuff like that. But this one doesn't have any details on the outside or anything like that. On the movie and the show, you never saw that. In the back of it, it says Knight Rider, pretty much. Uh, Lights, it's just one piece right here. This is actually plastic, and you can see some of the plastic is a clear plastic within the black. You can see it was all gas. There was no electrical or anything like that. The car itself, if you ever go to Universal Studios, they had back in the days where they had this actual car set up where you used to take a turn and sit down and talk to the actual car. It was another individual sitting somewhere in another room, but you were able to ask questions about the car, and it kind of give you an idea of how the show was, which is a pretty awesome thing for as a kid growing up watching these things, these serious shows. I mean, it was a good thing. I don't know if you ever saw the actual original show. It started out with this guy trying to burglarize the car, and he ended up driving the car. So it's a good show that ran for a couple seasons, but unfortunately, they tried to reboot it again. It didn't make it very good. This car brings about a lot of childhood. That's why I ended up receiving this. I actually tried to look for a smaller version of diecast, but this was the better thing because they actually have more details on it, and you could put this in your collection if you're a collector. So I hope you guys enjoy the video.